I'm just, I don't know, just felt like, you know what, I'm drawing and I might as well just get some company here while I'm doing it. I have no idea what I'm going to be up to. I don't know. Actually, I didn't even really feel like starting a new project or a sketch. So I just decided to work on something that I made like a little doodle of while I was sitting on the couch doing absolutely nothing the other day. So I figure I'll just do a little bit. It's going to be more like adult coloring than actually creating a whole new piece today, but it's nice to be able to do this on a Sunday morning while it's quiet out. And I've commandeered the dining room table now that I'm sitting at home all day, every day. I think it's a little nice to be able to look out a window while I'm working. My actual work desk is in the living room, and it's in a nice cozy corner, and it's nice, but I kind of feel like, especially once winter really sets in, before we, move out, we're gonna really need, as much at least visuals of outdoors as possible. I hope everybody's doing well. And as I described earlier when I made this, I'm just welcoming everybody to grab a piece of paper. Hi Nellie, how are you, sweetheart? Just grab a piece of paper, grab a notepad, whatever you have. It could be pencils, it could be magic markers, grab some crayons, whatever you need, and we're just going to just draw. And what's most important is that you're not worried about making some sort of masterpiece. It doesn't have to be perfect. Even if you're just kind of doodling, just, for the sake of escapism, getting your minds away from everything that's going on, so that you're not concentrating or worrying about your to-do list. What's most important is the process and not the finished result. And if anybody is drawing with me and they feel like coming up and having a little chat or sharing their little process while they're making their little piece, you're absolutely welcome to click on, I'm sure there's a little button here on IG Live that says, request to join conversation. You are absolutely welcome to. Thank you so much. Hi, Cham. Good morning. Good morning. We are just doing a little bit of intuitive art this morning. And that means you just make whatever you feel like, because it's not about the finished product. It's about the process and how it makes you feel. We're just having a little bit of escapism this morning before we start up again on our busy week. Because I know once we really start in on our week, time gets away from us. We're so busy doing so many things and getting all the tasks done. It's a little nice to just have these moments to ourselves. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. I started my morning really early. Sundays have been my time of like relaxation. It's my me time. So I set an alarm for sunrise. And sunrise today on the East Coast, I'm in New York State, was 6:45 a.m. So not too bad. I woke up at 6:45. I made a cup of coffee. I sat and watched the sunrise, and I couldn't help but to snap some pictures. It was so satisfying and so beautiful. And then after that, I just pretty much had a nice conversation with friends this morning. That was really nice too. And after that, I just went about setting my intentions for the week and reviewing what last week was like for me, acknowledging wins, processing any difficulties that I might have had this week, what might have caused them, what I can do better for myself. And those are all important things, right? We should definitely be taking time to just check in with ourselves, even if it's once a week. I think sometimes it's really easy to get caught up in the societal pressure that we have to be constantly producing. And if we're not producing, then we lose self-worth. And nothing is further from the truth. So it's just as important for us to be doing things for ourselves and making sure that our well-being is taken care of. And our well-being has 4 facets. You have to make sure that you're caring for your physical well-being, your mental well-being, your emotional well-being, and your spiritual well-being. So it's really important that we create mindful practices in our lives that are making sure that we're addressing all 4 of those aspects. And so even if for just a few minutes a day, you're sitting and taking time for yourself, it doesn't even have to be to create something. It doesn't even have to be, making art, if art, isn't really your calling. I know people who are absolutely moved by music, and so I encourage them, at least once a day, sit and listen to your favorite album. Keep your eyes closed. Just zone out for a minute. And don't worry too much about all of the things that are on our to-do list. They're going to be there even if you don't get them done right then and right at that moment. I've always been an artist, but I realized over the years I built up this creative block for myself, especially when it came to drawing and painting. And it came from this deep-rooted perfectionism that I had, which of course comes from years of going to art school, where everything is about technique and perfecting the technique and creating absolutely stunning, perfect work. And while I appreciate the necessity for the technique, it also doesn't take into account the very reason why so many of us become artists in the first place, which is because it makes us feel good. And so being able to come back to, hi Andrew, how are you? Love you, love you. I hope your Sunday is going well. And so just being able to create art for yourself, and not because you're worried about what other people are going to think, or whether or not it's an absolute masterpiece. It's not what art is about. It's about just doing things that make you feel good. And sometimes I want to create and I don't want to put a lot of effort into it. I'm the queen of stick figures. I love just being able to make small little things that make me smile, make me happy. But when we let go of those perfectionist thoughts, and stop watching from the outside as we make something, and allowing our negative self-talk to say, this is ugly, or this isn't coming out perfectly, it's not coming out the way that I want, and instead just enjoying the process, regardless of whether or not it looks the way that you envisioned. It's really all that matters. If it's abstract, it's abstract. And remember, your piece is never going to look like someone else's. So even if you have a reference piece and you're using that to create your own sketch or painting, your eye for shape and light and shadow, and the way that you perceive color, is unique to you. It's not going to look like anybody else's. Even if you were able to create an exact replica, there are going to be small little nuances. There's just going to be small little things in your painting that aren't going to look like someone else's. And that's completely okay. And that's because your eye, your unique perception of the world, is what's dictating how you create your masterpiece. Hi, Cuzzo. I saw you popped in. I'm not sure if you're still on, but hello and I love you. Hi, Miss Blair Bear. How are you? I'm just doing a little bit of art therapy this morning. My coffee's kicking in, so I'm sure as soon as I'm done with this, I'll be running around like a maniac getting some other things done that I need to. But in the meanwhile, I just wanted this little quiet moment to myself, looking out the window. The sky is deciding whether or not it wants to snow. And as long as I'm inside and toasty, I will not pray for warmer weather at this point. I think November in North Country, as far up as I am, this autumn was as good as I'm ever gonna get it. It's been mild. We've only had one snow and it immediately melted, so that was nice. So I will take what I can get. And if you're drawing along or painting along, feel free to DM me and show me what you've been working on. I always love seeing other people's work and seeing how your eye works. It's nice to have this little quiet moment to ourselves. So we got about 10 more minutes here. And if this is something that you've enjoyed, I'm thinking about making this a weekly thing on Sundays. I'm up early anyway, I'm up with the sunrise. So maybe Sunday mornings, this can be how I start my day. And if you'd like, you can join and we can start our day together like this. I like to use my Sundays as an opportunity to reflect on the past week, try and figure out what lessons there are to learn from any struggles that I might have had, do a check-in with myself, make sure that I'm doing all right. It's important to feel good. And then from there, I try to make conscious intentions that I want to manifest for the following week. I take moments in the morning during sunrise to think about those things so that I can make sure that I'm doing my best to be as intentional with my words and my actions as possible. And so for this upcoming week, I decided that my intention is going to be to constantly remind myself that I do indeed have time. I fall very much into this pitfall of constantly worrying that I don't have time, that I'm running out of time to do all the things that I want to do, or that everything in my life is absolutely time sensitive, and if it doesn't happen the minute that I'm thinking about it, if I don't complete the task, then that's it. I'm a complete failure. Oh my God, I didn't do all the things. And I think this week I really want to train my brain to understand that yes, there are some things that are time sensitive, but not everything. And that it's okay. And that I don't have to rush myself or put that pressure on myself to get all the things done. And perhaps even reminds myself that, considering I've done quite a lot of things with my life. I've knocked so many things off my bucket list. And so now the entire world is on pause, and that's okay. And I don't have to feel the need to jump up and try to do as many things as possible and fight the tide so that I can achieve these goals. Is that going to be easy for me? Hell no. I mean, let's be real. I mean, if we could just reprogram our brains like that, we'd be computers. But the more often that I say these things to myself, the more often that I remind myself that I don't have to do all the things, the more hopefully subconsciously it's just being said, and I don't have to say it out loud every single time. Hopefully that might help to quiet my frenetic brain at times where it's not necessary for it to be working overtime. We got about 5 more minutes. And if you have some extra time and you want to continue to work on your intuitive art piece, please do. I absolutely encourage you to take as much time as you need after. And just enjoy the process of creating. Enjoy a little bit of quiet time to yourself. And remember that whatever the finished piece looks like absolutely doesn't matter. All that matters is that you enjoyed yourself, that you allowed yourself a little bit of you time, and that you allowed yourself a moment of self-expression without your inner critic coming out and chastising you for either not doing something that you quote unquote should be doing, that you're not completing a task, that you're not working, so you're not actually making money at this very moment while you're drawing for yourself. All of that is okay. All that is fucking okay. And it takes a while. Sometimes it takes a long while. Maybe this session that you're working on right now is extremely difficult for you. You know, maybe you were even just staring at a blank piece of paper this entire time and you weren't really too sure what you should make. And that's okay. Give yourself some self-compassion. You know, this is all going to be a new practice for you. It's going to take a little while for you to get over that anxiety, that performance anxiety that we have. That fear that if I'm going to sit and make something, it better be good, it better be worthwhile, otherwise I wasted my time. None of that is true. Because if you're doing something that pulls your mind into the present, where you're not lamenting over the past, which creates depression, or fretting over the future, which is what anxiety is, then this moment in time did its job. And if you have a blank page right now and you still feel like you haven't had that breakthrough, just make a circle. Draw a circle on your paper. And then just start filling it in. Just start coloring it in. Color it in with all one color. Grab a couple of different colors. Blend them together. Section off the circle into different parts and put in different colors. Work in a little color therapy. It doesn't have to be an identifiable object. Maybe you're just only picking up colors that speak to you at this moment. Grab the colors that just feel good. The minute that you see the color, it's just something that's making you happy. Grab that and just start coloring with it. Just stare at the color while you're using it. And just feel the energy that that color is giving to you. that happiness that you're getting just seeing that color spread across the paper. It's a really comforting feeling. Does not have to be something that you're making. And it takes a long time to shake out that perfectionism. But when you're able to rewire your brain and start to see that there's value in things that make you happy, and that it's not for anybody else to judge, and that their opinions on how you express yourself don't matter, you're going to start to feel so much more empowered. So we're wrapping up now. I hope you enjoyed sketching with me this morning. Even if you didn't sketch, that's all right. Maybe it felt good to just watch somebody else do it. I know when I was a kid, I loved watching Bob Ross. And 9 times out of 10, I wasn't painting with him. But it was so satisfying just to watch somebody else make something beautiful. I hope the rest of your week is peaceful and that you find moments where you can have some quiet time to yourself and do something that brings you joy. And never hesitate to reach out. I'm always available. You can put a comment on one of my posts or hit me up on DM if you need any tips or advice on how to start your creative self-care practice. I'm always happy to give any resources that I have to you. All right, so happy Sunday. And as always, I'm always here to help you discover your most aesthetic self.